Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, we are from Team 4. Before we start our presentation, let me introduce ourselves. I am Eksha Faira Putri and my team members Muhammad Ramadian Ramanda, Sulaiman Ratu Akbar, and Nicola Eka Buana. In this opportunity, we would like to present our journal analysis entitled Science Integrated Learning Model to enhance the scientific work independence of student teachers in indigenous knowledge transformation. Furthermore, this journal is from Jurnal Pendidikan IPA Indonesia. And this journal is indexed by Google Scholar, DOAJ, Scopus, and Sinta. This journal is indexed Q2 by Skimago and Scopus. The problem of this journal are the first, in order to achieve the competence of scientific work, independence, a learning material which leads to students' learning activity and has the learning strategy with a principle of integrated science is needed. Jadi, permasalahan di dalam jurnal ini yang pertama, itu untuk mencapai kompetensi kemandirian karya ilmiah diperlukan bahan ajar yang mengarahkan atau menuntun pada aktivitas belajar mahasiswa dan juga memiliki strategi pembelajaran dengan IPA terpadu. The second one, the students tends to have the dependency of their lecturer when they do the experimental work. Also, they have not shown any original knowledge in local society. Jadi, permasalahan yang kedua yaitu mahasiswa cenderung memiliki ketergantungan pada dosennya saat mengerjakan percobaan. Selain itu juga mahasiswa belum menunjukkan pengetahuan asli apapun di masyarakat lokal. So, these problems represent that there is necessity for a learning instruments development which is oriented in the achievement of graduate core competencies. Jadi, permasalahan yang dua di atas itu menunjukkan bahwa perlunya pengembangan perangkat pembelajaran yang juga berorientasi pada pencapaian kompetisi inti lulusan. The next slide will be present by my friend.
The purpose of this study is to test the effectiveness of science integrated learning model implementation for the increase of independence of scientific work in student teacher, especially in designing, conducting, and evaluating their own experiment. Also, the study is to assess an independence of scientific work in student teacher in terms of developing indigenous knowledge into the scientific model through science integrated learning model. Jadi, tujuan dari penelitian ini adalah untuk menguji keefektifan model pembelajaran terintegrasi sains saat digunakan untuk meningkatkan kemandirian siswa dalam kerja ilmiah, terutama pada bagian perancangan, bagian pelaksanaan, pengevaluasian dalam kerja ilmiah mahasiswa itu tersendiri. Selain itu juga, penelitian ini juga bertujuan untuk menilai kemandirian mahasiswa saat mengubah pengetahuan lokal menjadi pengetahuan ilmiah melalui model pembelajaran terintegrasi sains. The next is the method. The method in this research is an experimental method. First, the researcher made two groups. First is the experimental group and the other is the control group. The experimental group has to learn through the science integrated model and the control use the usual learning model. As there is the output from this ethnoscience lecture is a scientific work, so then the scientific work from both groups are being compared, including their work pre-test and post-test. At the end of the lesson, all of the students from the experimental group has to fill the questionnaire about the students' independence. Jadi, metode penelitiannya menggunakan metode eksperimen. Pertama-tama, peneliti membuat dua kelas yang berbeda, yakni kelas eksperimen dan kelas kontrol. Kelas eksperimen harus menjalani pembelajaran dengan menggunakan model pembelajaran terintegrasi sains. Karena pada mata kuliah ini, mata kuliah ethnoscience, mahasiswa diwajibkan untuk membuat karya ilmiah, maka karya ilmiah dari tiap kelas akan dibandingkan. Terakhir, saat perkuliahan telah selesai dilaksanakan, seluruh siswa akan diminta untuk mengisi borang kemandirian siswa sebagai data untuk menjadi hasil selanjutnya.
The next slide is about the result of this article. There is table 2 that shows the effectiveness of the stage of SIL model. According to the table, exploration stage has the highest score with highly effective criteria, and the concept integration stage has lowest score with effective criteria, which is mean the score represent the application of SIL model in ethnoscience learning in 3 universities was effective. Next is figure 1. According to figure 1, there is difference in the result between pretest of the experimental group and the control group, meaning that there is a difference in the understanding level of ethnoscience learning material. The experimental group with SIL model application tend to have a better understanding of the learning material comparing with the control group. Next is figure 2. According to figure 2, the independence of the scientific work was in a very high category. Based on the analysis of 11 aspects of the independence scientific work, there were 81 students who obtained very high category, and 7 students show high category. The independence of scientific work of students in this study results as the effect of the SIL model application. This result represents that SIL model application was effective to improve the independence of scientific work of student teacher of science. Dari tabel-tabel hasil penelitian yang telah ditampilkan, dapat disimpulkan bahwa mahasiswa dari ketiga universitas ini menunjukkan peningkatan tingkat kemandirian karya ilmiah. Dan peningkatan ini merupakan efek dari pengaplikasian model SIL learning.
The next results, the student independence work also has transformed the indigenous knowledge to be scientific knowledge. Some of the indigenous knowledge of the community has already proved scientifically in the laboratory experiment. Some examples of the experimental results are present in the table below. Tugas mandiri mahasiswa sudah mampu mengubah kepercayaan daerah atau obat-obat herbal daerah menjadi sebuah karya ilmiah, atau lebih tepatnya dibuktikan secara ilmiah. Contoh-contohnya seperti apa yang ada di dalam tabel di bawah ini.
In table 6, shown the result of student response after ethnoscience learning by SIL model application. According to table 6, the average score of 8 items of the question after ethnoscience learning by SIL model application is 3.28. This score represents the very high capability of students to implementation SIL model in ethnoscience learning. Conclusion. There are 2 points. The first point is science integrated learning model or SIL model affect the independence of scientific work in students, teachers of science. Second, science integrated learning model or SIL model is proved to be effective to improve the ability of students in integrating data, facts, and theories to transform the indigenous knowledge into scientific knowledge, especially in ethnoscience subject.